Hi, this is Max Verstappen, and you're listening to Speed City.
Welcome back to the fastest hour in radio, Speed City.
Hey, that kid?
Yeah, what kid?
That brought us back?
Oh, yeah.
Potential there.
Potential. He's got some for sure. All right, speaking of kids with potential, again, Jonathan sets me up. Our next guest has been, he's from Austin, Texas, and he's been racing ever since he came to COTA to a World Endurance Championship race, a WEC race, and said, wow, that's really cool. Can I do that? And that was, I don't know, 10 years ago.
And his father lost a lot of hair that day.
Yeah. He didn't. He didn't know what he was getting into. Now is when his hair is coming out.
Ignorance is bliss.
So, yes, we want to welcome to our show the leader of the current leader of the Formula, of the FR Americas Championship, Ryan Shehan. Ryan, welcome back to Speed City.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Congratulations on your progress this year, man. Fantastic. Leading the championship.
Yeah, it's been a really good run of races lately, and so I'm happy to be leading and having a pretty good lead. So hopefully we can just keep that up the rest of the year.
And Ryan, I should correct myself and apologize to you and your dad, because the truth is, and I want you to talk a little bit about this. I'm so proud of what you've achieved, but the truth is, and your dad will concur with this, you are your own businessman. You have done a lot of this, a lot of why you are doing what you are doing is off your own bat outside of the car, and that is very rare at your level. We all know what motor racing is all about, and in terms of cost. Tell us a little bit about how you go about raising sponsorship, because I just find that so unique, simply.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, my dad isn't Lawrence Stroll. He can't throw millions of dollars at the wall and see what sticks. So, yeah, I have to be super involved, because if we're talking to a sponsor and it's just like dad or a manager, then they probably won't be too interested. But when they hear it coming from me, then we get a bit more success in that situation, because they're usually interested that a 19-year-old is talking to them about, racing sponsorship.
Yeah,
no kidding. And tell us how you've also got involved with the Austin business community as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was 16 or 17 when I went to my first Austin, what are they called?
Austin Business Journal, or Austin Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I went to my first Chamber of Commerce meeting. And I definitely got some looks there, people wondering kind of why I was there, if dad had to pick me up from school and then take me straight there or something. But yeah, it's been an interesting ride, since I was 16, 17. Basically, when I moved into a car is kind of when I had to really get super serious about it, because that's when the costs start to rapidly rise up.
Ryan, we've had you on the show many times. We've known you since you were 15, and I've obviously had the privilege of doing some of your races. I did your last double, so it was great, because I hadn't seen you race in person for a while. We went to New Zealand together a couple of years ago. I watched you literally try out FR for the first time, so you were definitely wet behind the ears, but it was a huge experience, which I think has led to this point now of where you are, because you were runner-up last year to the actual New Zealand champion, who's currently in Indy Next, got a fourth place yesterday, Callum Hedge. Well done to him in his first ever oval. But just give us a little potted history for the audience out there. And if you are listening, he is available to put stickers on that car at the right price. And he needs your help, folks. So, hey, we got one of our own, a Texan, a true-born Texan, trying to get to Formula One. And as you know, we were all about selling Alexander Rossi when he was Caterham, and we were all about Sargent, and we were all about Jack Crawford, but we're also all about Ryan Shehan, and he's the next.
And here's why, if you are a business owner or someone who makes those decisions, you want to think about this, because Ryan, just this year, for example, he's won 4 of the 11 races. 2, he's finished second. I mean, your lowest points total is 9. What is that position, Ryan? That's like 4th or something? So
yeah, I think I think that was the second place in a half points race.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, so wait a minute, I may have gotten this wrong. So how many wins do you have this year?
Yeah, still 4, I think.
Because you got 18 points.
Podiums.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And rumor has it on Reddit that Checker has been calling Ryan for advice on consistency.
So what I'm
Yeah, it's true. We talk frequently. He's
Good
kind
man.
of slid into my DMs and asked for some advice.
I see. That's good for you, man. Don't give it all away though. Don't
Okay,
give it
so
all away.
the
But why
point I
don't you
was-
give
No,
us?
I keep some secrets.
What I was
give us
trying
your-
to make, the
All
point I
right.
was trying to make is that Ryan, the trajectory that you're on right now, I mean, you really could end up at pretty high level. I could easily see you making it to IndyCar. I mean, Formula One is that, we all know that your dad's not Lawrence Stroll, right? That's the number one reason you're probably not going to make it to Formula One, let's be honest. But you never know. But the point is, get in good with Ryan now when you can afford him, because you won't be able to in a couple of years.
Well, and being involved in a young man's career and also being involved in motorsport, full stop. Anyway, going back to the question, give us a little potted history. I know it, but tell the audience.
Yeah, well, like John said, I went to a race out at COTA in 2013. So pretty much right after it opened.
Yeah.
I instantly fell in love, told my dad I wanted to be a race car driver. He said, go research it, come back in 2 days. This shouldn't be a super quick thing that you come back in 2 hours and give me an answer.
Mm-hmm.
So I researched it, found out it's go-karts is where you start. Did that for 6 years and then moved into an F4 car in 2021. Did that for 2 years and now in my second year of FR.
And you've been runner-up last year and you're leading the championship now.
Yeah.
So hopefully we continue the upward trajectory.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing for you is Honda. You're about a couple of years around because Honda were offering big money for the champion of FR, and the likes of Kirkwood and the likes of many others have gained from that money that they get as a Honda prize, which sadly has gone away because obviously Honda now not part of the FR championship. As a manufacturer. So, that's a tough one. But that's motor racing, as you well know, and it can happen. And you don't sit there waiting for Honda to give you a handout, do you?
Yeah, I mean, definitely would have been nice, but we've made it work so far, and I have faith that we can somehow make it work for next year, wherever we end up.
And interestingly enough, I mean, there's a plethora of Texans in here as well. Titus Sherlock, who is another good friend of myself, was also in New Zealand. Jet Bowling from Dallas, Texas, third in the championship. Yourself leading it, and then sandwiched between you and Bowling is Patrick Woods-Toth, who is a Canadian and who I heard about years ago from Scott Goodyear when he was doing commentary with me for Trans Am, and he was like, he's the race director, as you well know, but he kind of sort of said, hey, you keep an eye on this guy, and so it's proving to be the case, and it really is, I would argue, between you and Patrick Woods-Toth, but the likes of Bowling and Havrada and Sherlock are all going to take valuable points away from that challenge between you two, between now and the end of the year, which is at COTA.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
I think the field is really strong this year. So if me and Patrick ever have any issues, then they're right away to steal a position or two from us. So we can't relax if we have drop a tire or something. We don't have a 10-second get back to the third place car. We have maybe a second at most. So I think it's a lot more fun that way, just to always be on your toes and always be competing. So yeah, it's lots of fun this year.
And the other thing people might not know is that it's quite an interesting dynamic, if that's the right word, because both of you are crosslink Kiwi, as both of you and Callum Hedge were last year. But knowing Callum as I do and knowing his schedule last year, he was very rarely there. He showed up for the race weekends and then was on a plane back to do Porsche in Australia, which was great for him. And so, how is the dynamic between you and Patrick in the debriefs and in the data sharing side?
I mean, all of the Kiwi drivers, they share the data. It's not really, they don't really have a choice.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
But yeah, so me and Patrick have the same engineer. We're his two drivers, which can be nice because that we both get the exact same coaching.
Yeah.
There's not really any difference in style or anything like that. So I think it's basically as equal as it can be. Usually we'll start off with the exact same car and then we'll tune it based on our preferences. But yeah, I think it's super equal. So it usually ends up being whichever of us can inch that tenth or hundredth out of the car. So it's good. It's really exciting, and it's lots of fun battling against your teammate. It's a bit still pretty stressful, but I think it may be a bit lower stress than someone else.
And 20 points or so between you. Do I go out and buy the big Texan buckle yet, or shall I hold off?
Oh, I still have one from that you brought to New Zealand. So
yeah, that's right.
Bring it to Coda just in case.
Good, yeah. You
good.
better be wearing that. That's your good luck charm, man.
All right, Ryan, we got to take a break. Stick with us, would you? And when we come back, we'll have more from Ryan, but we also have lots more to talk about. You listen to Sunday Night with Speed City, back after these messages.
Don't forget for him to give us a good long version of how to get hold of him, how to go on his press releases.
All right, we're still live on YouTube. Let's see what's going on out there. There were several things that we didn't get to. Let's see. Ooh, Ray, I like this one. Will hybrid technology attract another engine manufacturer?
I like that question.
I love the question, but not until they get it all sorted, because it's not sorted
But
yet.
now's the time to get in.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody asked me, a buddy of mine was at, he said, what is it, 130, 150 horsepower? I said, not yet. It's only 60. I said, but they have the potential.
I don't think they'd ever want that.
No, the system says it'll go up to 130 horsepower, something like that.
I don't think that you want to get that.
Yeah, that's a different discussion, but they have the capability. Kevin Kelly was, I missed it by what did I say a while ago, Kevin? Well, 1970, so 1969, I missed it by a year.
Going back to that, it must be pretty scary if you're not Chevrolet or Honda and you want to be an OEM in. I mean, bar Toyota, who's going to take that risk? So it needs this sort of gremlin-like new era for somebody to fall over in, to fail in, and have a new manufacturer come along and then take 2 or 3 years to get up to speed. Perhaps with a Dale Coyne or a Juncus or somebody else, a smaller team is what I'm getting at. Yeah. And then come in big time.
Yeah.
I'd love to see another OEM.
Andy P said, first of all, he says, happy for Scotty Mack. Overall product this weekend was a tough watch. Okay. Andy P's Andy, honestly, I was so ADHD, I was watching too much, but I'm glad I'm not glad. I see that you agree with the drivers. We're saying it was hard to overtake on a track multiple times last year.
If Stingray Rob had been in the diving Olympics, that would have been a 3.5 degree of difficulty.
Well, whose fault was that, guys? Was that just Stingray not paying attention? Because Rossi was going really slow, but
why was Rossi going?
Because he was saving fuel, I think.
Okay. Maybe he was running out of fuel because it was the last lap.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Let's see what else. All right, coming back. All right, Greeny, we're gonna do a.
Hello to everyone, this is Gunther Steiner, this is Speed City.
Welcome back to the fastest hour in radio, Speed City.
Thank you, Gunther, for bringing us back. Where will you be Labor Day weekend? Because the Lone Star Le Mans is coming to Coda. Yeah.
I'll be in the media center.
Austin, Texas, baby.
Yes, the Lone Star Le Mans at Coda, the final weekend of August, Labor Day, Sunday, race day. There is a ton of new OEMs involved. They're calling it almost like the new World Endurance Championship, the new WEC, because
it's a new era for sure.
Yeah, but how many you've got?
19.
You've got Alpine, Aston Martin, BMW, Cadillac, Corvette, Le Mans winners from Ferrari, Ford, Lamborghini, Lexus, McLaren, Peugeot, Porsche, Toyota. It is this is a golden era. It has to, a way to describe it.
During the Brazil race, they were talking about the LMP1 era when 10 years ago when they were last at Brazil. And I remember that era well with Audi and Porsche and so on and so forth. But this truly is. Ferrari winning Le Mans twice in a row now in the hyper field. Like you say, you've got manufacturers. We even looked up that Italian one that we didn't know much about.
It's sort of Fraschini?
Yeah,
Fraschini, I think it is.
Bless you. You should get some. We should get some cream for that cold. Really good. And then there's two classes which I also am a big fan of because it makes it a lot easier as a commentator.
It's a little confusing.
LMGT3, which is if you like your production version. But that's the Aston Martins and the Ferraris of production.
McLarens.
And BMW.
Yes. And you've got Formula One world champion Jenson Button and a guy who's won a few championships. You might have heard of him, Valentino Rossi, the number 46 team.
Yeah.
So they are lined up also, plus two good support races, the Lamborghini Super Trofeo and Ford Mustang Challenge.
Yeah, that's going to make
because there's a
things
Ford
interesting.
Mustang in WEC now.
Yes, there is. Yeah, so that's going to be, and so there's a lot going on at that weekend. Really looking forward to it. And hey, guys, we've got the perfect guest to affirm us. It's a great event to get the bug. That's what happened to Ryan Shehan, and now he's a professional racing driver and the leading FIA Formula Regional Championship leader. That's how dreams are made, folks.
Unfortunately, Ryan, hopefully you're not going to be in Austin that weekend. You're going to be in a F3 car.
Canada.
In Canada, that's right.
Yeah, we're going to be at CTMP that weekend, which when the FR schedule came out, I was super upset because I'd been looking forward to the WEC race this year. But driving a car is a bit better.
Yeah.
And Ryan, just, we've known each other a while, but just tell us what that day that you were there at WEC, what it was that interested you so much, and two, reality versus, dream. You are now a professional racing driver and you are living the dream. Who knows? You could be coming back here in WEC in a couple of years representing, Ferrari or BMW or Cadillac. So, what was it that day and what was the reality like when you started learning?
I think it was just the access. We got to walk through the paddock. We got to walk on the main straight for an autograph session. It was super cool. You got to meet the LMP1 drivers who back then were some ex-Formula One drivers. You got to meet, racing legends. It was the coolest thing I'd ever done up until then. Probably still one of the coolest things I've ever done outside of driving a race car.
Beats mowing the yard, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And anytime you're at COTA, it's a cool experience. It's such a nice facility. It's always nice to go there when we race, and so getting to go as a spectator is no different. So it's great.
Hey, Ryan, have you had a win at COTA? I can't remember now.
Oh, good question.
Yeah, it's a sore subject.
Yes. That's right. Sorry.
At my home race.
Yes. Sorry. Well, we can change all that in November.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Hey, Ryan. Last year, Jonathan mentioned Callum Hedge a while ago, who won the FR championship. What came in second last year, and Callum's now a IndyCar driver. What
Indy Next
driver. So, what is the dream for you? And with even a dose of realism, let's say, since your dad is not Lawrence Stroll, as we said, third time on the show. What is the dream, and what are you hoping for?
Lawrence on line 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think being pretty broad, I think the dream is just making a career in racing, making a living, getting to drive race cars. I think that's you can't really ask for more than that. Everything else is kind of up to luck and chance and all that kind of stuff. I think IndyCar would be amazing. IMSA, WEC, any of that would be incredible. Obviously the massive dream is Formula One, but that becomes more and more difficult every year, especially if you're not born in Europe, if you're not a millionaire. There's a list of things that you have to have, and there's a very small amount of people that actually fit that. But it's my dream to make it to Formula One, IndyCar, and I'll keep working at it as long as I can.
Do you do things like, you hear these stories like Lewis Hamilton? He got his start by
going up to Ron Dennis.
Going up to Ron Dennis. Do you do things like go up to Gene Haas or go up to Mario Andretti or
calling card
to make sure they know who you are? Do you do that kind of stuff, Ryan? I'm sure you probably do something.
Unfortunately, we don't really end up at places where people that important are. We don't have a Gene Haas or any F1 team principal, anything like that at FR races. And even when, like a few years ago, when F4 was supporting an F1, we were kind of quarantined in the support paddock. We weren't allowed to even look at F1. So it's hard to get an audience with someone like that. But if you ever do, then you have to take that chance. It could be your only chance. Worst they can say is no.
Yep. That's exactly right. And the story of how we now do the official nationwide on another network do the Formula One races. And that was, we just walked up to the CEO of Formula One and said, hey, we're who we are. You're going to give us a shot. And they did. So it never hurts to ask, Ryan. So,
Ryan, we're running out of time, so let's set up the end of the year. You're leading at the moment. You've got a good head of lead over Patrick Woods-Toth. What's it going to take to get to the checkered flag and get to the win? And more importantly, let's encourage Austin and Austinites and San Antonioites and Houstonites and Dallasites to come down, because the final race, and I've got a feeling it's going to go all the way, and I'll be doing the commentary in the booth, it's going to go all the way down to Coda, and we want to get behind you. So just describe what's ahead.
Yeah, it's going to take consistency. I think I've heard you say I've been metronomic at points.
Yeah.
It's a good word that I like. So I guess I'll just keep my metronomic style and
and what do I mean by that is, you don't suddenly lurch, you don't take sort of lurching moments.
Speaking of lurching, is that your phone?
Yeah,
lurching?
my father calling up to sponsor Ryan, but I ignored the call. That's terrible. No, but you're absolutely right, and I hope you don't feel insulted by that. I just feel that you're not a flair driver in terms of suddenly, if you watch Santino Ferrucci for 5 minutes, it scares the heck out of you. And sometimes it works for him, sometimes it doesn't. But he was wheel to wheel and rubbing wheels with Newgarden and all sorts today. And that's not your style. You're Dixon or Power, which is, okay, what's it going to... Yeah,
that's
what you
want.
Greatest. If you want to be a professional in driving, be metronomic, because it means, and what I mean, if you don't know what a metronome is, it's basically consistent. Every corner, every time you hit an apex, you're almost kind of, you can do it in your sleep, and that's what I've watched. How you've developed, anyway, right? So what's ahead in races wise?
Yeah, we have New Jersey in about a week and a half. That's around 5, I believe, and then we have around 6 in Canada, our first race across the border. So that'll be super exciting. And then the finale at Coda in, I think, Halloween weekend. So any Texans, anybody
sounds scary.
Anybody around?
Come on down. And it's 3 races per weekend. And if you've got a young wannabe Ryan, bring them down. Bring your 9-year-old. Bring your 9-year-old daughter or 9-year-old son or whatever.
Get the next race driver.
Yeah.
Hey, Ryan, what's your website so people where they know to go search out to sponsor you?
Yeah, really easy. RyanShehan.com.
There you go.
All right.
Well, listen, best of luck. We're really proud of you. You're representing us really well here in Austin, and you're living the dream. And I hope that Austin gets on board.
Thank you.
All right, Ryan, thanks a lot. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in tonight. And you can always catch Sunday Night with Speed City. We're at the new time now, as you saw today, 5 o'clock. But also, of course, our Formula One broadcast 1 hour before and 1 hour after every race. Go to our website, speedcitybroadcast.com, to find out how to listen to that. And we will talk to you next Sunday.